Parents, guardians, caregivers, have you checked the Ministry of Education's website for the approved book list for your primary and secondary school aged child? If you haven't yet done so, do it now and save yourself time and money. Click on to moe.gov.jm. Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. The magazine unfolds right now with Tamara McHale as she brings you the latest news from our news desk.
Householders, business people, school administrators, protect yourself and your children from the Chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace, and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness, or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your JIS News for Monday, August 18. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips says early signs that the previous devaluation of the Jamaican dollar to make it more competitive has resulted in improvements in the local economy. The minister points to the growth in the tourism industry, investor interest in hotel construction and the demand for more locally produced crops.
The replacement of imported malt-based products for beer manufacture by locally produced cassava-based product is possible only because of these changes in values and potentially can result in thousands upon thousands of agricultural jobs and agro-processing jobs.
Dr. Phillips was speaking at a recent meeting hosted by the Rotary Club of New Kingston. He said the right valuation of the Jamaican dollar would boost local consumption and the country's business competitiveness. Meanwhile, the finance minister says that even though Jamaica is expected to pass the 5th IMF test, the more difficult components of Jamaica's economic reform program are yet to come.
These reforms are more complex reforms, and they involve basically changing the basic operational arrangements of our economy, including the way government functions. If we are to compete in the world, we need to ensure that institutions of government operate at world-class standards.
Dr. Phillips adds that the government will continue pursuing changes to the tax structure, divestment of public assets like the Norman Manley International Airport, and improving efficiency at the ports. In the meantime, the finance minister is expecting Jamaica's current account deficit, that's the gap between imports and exports, to further decrease by the end of the financial year.
The expectation for the current fiscal year is that the balance of payments current account deficit will be in the order of 6.3, 6.5% of GDP.
The current account deficit for the 2013-2014 financial year was 8.8% of Jamaica's gross domestic product. The Jamaica Customs Agency is implementing a major technology-driven system that will improve how it does business and increase revenue collection. The automated system for customs data was launched last week. The $4 million system will streamline and reduce processes involved in cross-border import, export, and transshipment of goods. It will also speed up operations at the ports by fully automating export and import transactions.
We need the additional revenues which can flow. The benefits are not restricted to that. The simplification of the process, the reduction of the processing time that flows from it is an important part.
Implementation begins with a pilot phase in February 2015, with full rollout expected between 2015 and 2016. Funding is provided by the Inter-American Development Bank and the Government Fiscal Administration Modernization Program. The Ministry of Health is recommending that householders, school administrators, business proprietors, and members of places of worship spend at least 10 minutes per week searching for and destroying mosquito breeding sites. Director of Emergency Disaster Management and Special Services Dr. Marion Bullock-Ducasse points out that this is one of the key ways to reduce the spread of chikungunya. Her urging comes as the ministry confirms another 2 locally transmitted cases of the disease, including a previously suspected case on the campus of the University of the West Indies. The affected parishes remain St. Thomas, St. Catherine, St. Anne, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Dr. Ducasse says individuals should ensure that they protect themselves from mosquito bites by using insect repellent containing DEET, covering their body as much as possible by wearing long-sleeved clothing and putting mesh on doors and windows. For more information, persons may contact the Health Ministry's Emergency Operations Center at 1-888-663-5683 or 1-888-1-LOVE. And finally, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, is ramping up its disaster risk reduction initiatives. ODPEM is partnering with the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency to mainstream a climate-smart comprehensive disaster management program for the island. Acting Director General of ODPEM, Richard Thompson, says the partnership is to develop policies and plans for proper risk reduction processes.
We are dealing with a number of issues internationally, and we have to make preparation for them. But it's bringing together plans and policies that is related to comprehensive risk management and climate change, and also bringing the both communities together in order for us to have a greater impact and greater bang for the buck.
Mr. Thompson was speaking on day 1 of a 2-day workshop with stakeholders last week. And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thanks for watching. The National Water Commission, NWC, is now on a drive to rapidly fix leaks affecting the water distribution systems across the island. 2 leak hotlines have been established. Report leaks by calling 733-5655 and 733-5656. You may also send a text to 838-LEAK, that is 838-5325. Remember that a little effort will make a big difference. Be a leak detective. Conserve on water today.
A roundup of some of the assignments which occupied ministers at the office of the Prime Minister next.
Kudos to GSAT and CSEC performers. National hero remembered on his birthday, and Jamaica Anti-Doping Disciplinary Panel hears an appeal. With this week's Jamaica House Weekly, I'm Simone Wolfe. Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller focused her attention last week on primary and secondary students who performed well in their respective examinations.
From the outset, I want to congratulate all the students here and across Jamaica who did their Grade 6 Achievement Test, GSAT, and have now been placed at the various secondary institutions to continue their education. I also use this opportunity to congratulate the older students who are now learning of their respective passes in the CSEC exams and are preparing for their tertiary education.
The Prime Minister was speaking Thursday at a prize-giving ceremony for 22 children of staff members of the Office of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. She used the occasion to encourage the children to continue to strive for excellence.
Sometimes the assignment might be difficult. Check mommy and daddy. If they don't know, go to teacher and say, teacher, can you explain to me? Because I'm not understanding. Pay attention to your schoolwork. Parents will give you time for play, time with your friends. But when they say, homework time now, that is important and critical. You are where you are because you paid attention.
Mrs. Simpson-Miller also reiterated her commitment to ensuring that Jamaica's children are well educated.
When I look into their eyes, I'm inspired to work harder, to achieve the Jamaican dream of opportunity, prosperity, justice, and peace for all. When I see their eager faces, I am even more determined that we must continue to improve the educational system as a matter of high priority.
Prime Minister Simpson Miller was represented by Culture Minister Lisa Hanna as Jamaica celebrated the life and work of national hero Marcus Garvey on his birthday on Sunday.
If nothing else, let us reflect on Garvey today and move with deliberate speed to leave nothing to chance in our work, in our personal relationships, in our devotion to God, in our patriotism, in our belief that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. We must never leave these values to chance.
The floral tribute was held at the National Heroes Park. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller recently expressed condolences to the victims and people of China who were affected by an earthquake on August 3. The 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck China's southwestern province of Yunnan, killing hundreds in its wake.
We regret the loss of life, the injury to more than 1,800 persons, and the massive destruction of homes and other infrastructure.
The Prime Minister was speaking at the recent opening of Segment 2 of the North-South Highway. And the Jamaica Anti-Doping Appeals Tribunal convened Thursday to hear an appeal by former National Youth Representative Demar Robinson. Robinson was given a one-year ban after testing positive for a steroid at the Jamaica National Junior Trials in 2012. And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us next time for the latest stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Welcome to the FSC Minute. I am Nadine Newsome. Today we discuss pensions regulations, and joining me is Nicolette Hennes, Senior Director of Pensions with the FSC. Welcome to the FSC Minute, Mrs. Hennes.
Thanks, Nadine.
Mrs. Hennes, the FSC started to regulate the pensions industry with the passing of the Pensions Act in 2006. Why was a pensions legislation necessary?
Nadine, prior to the enactment of the pensions legislation, the tax authorities had full responsibility for the approval of pension plans under the Income Tax Act. However, the Income Tax Act was never intended to address the problems that plague the industry. Problems such as delays in the payment of benefits, the failure of employers to pay over contributions, and also the lack of information that members received concerning their pension plan. The legislation sought to establish a framework that would ensure that the entitlements of Jamaicans were secure and that they would be available when that person reaches retirement.
So what has changed since the passing of the pensions legislation in 2006?
In order to expedite the pension reform, the pension legislation process was divided into two phases. Phase 1 focused on the registration of pension plans and trustees and administrators. As of June 30th, 2014, the FSC approved the registration and licensing of 354 superannuation funds, 14 retirement schemes, 26 investment managers, and 28 administrators, as well as over 2,000 trustees. In addition to the registration and the licensing of these entities, the FSC embarked on the monitoring and supervision of the industry. Investment managers, administrators, and trustees are required to submit both quantitative and qualitative reports to the FSC on an annual basis.
The FSC is now moving towards the approval of Phase 2. Why is a Phase 2 necessary?
As mentioned before, it was thought prudent to divide the pension reform process into two phases. Phase 2 will focus on those issues that are likely to have a greater impact on members, issues such as vesting, portability, and locking in of pension contributions. Other areas to be covered by Phase 2 include actuarial valuation reports and provisions for retirement schemes.
Thank you, Mrs. Hennes. My guest today was Nicolette Hennes, Senior Director of Pensions with the FSC. For the FSC Minute, I am Nadine Newsom.
A society that resolves conflicts through dialogue and mediation treats each other with respect and dignity, and a society that's safe, cohesive, and just. Some of the expected outcomes of Goal 2 of Vision 2030 Jamaica, the island's first long-term national development plan. More in this feature.
Well, it's all about Jamaica and our vision to gain first world status.
Jamaica, the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. It's the vision statement for Vision 2030 Jamaica. It means that by the year 2030, Jamaica should reach developed country status by implementing the country's first long-term national development plan. The vision is to be realized through 4 main goals. Jamaicans are empowered to achieve their fullest potential. The Jamaican society is secure, cohesive, and just. Jamaica's economy is prosperous, and Jamaica has a healthy natural environment. Goal number 2 of Vision 2030 Jamaica, the Jamaican society is secure, cohesive, and just, underscores the importance of a country with high levels of accountability and transparency in government, while offering justice and fair play for its people in a society that is safe. Goal achievement is therefore focused on 2 main areas: security and safety, and effective governance. Citizens of Jamaica, business interests, visitors, and residents in all communities should feel secure, whether at home, work, school, or as they go about their daily lives. To achieve this, the security forces have been working to reduce major crimes. A major organized crime and anti-corruption task force was developed to deal with organized criminal networks and their facilitators. Through the Proceeds of Crime Act, the security forces have also been able to seize the ill-gotten gains of some of these criminals. The legislative and technical frameworks in which the security forces operate are also being strengthened, all in a bid to thoroughly investigate crime and bring perpetrators to book. The medium-term socio-economic framework of Vision 2030 Jamaica stipulates that social intervention programs form part of the strategy to achieve a safer Jamaica. The Citizen Security and Justice Program has been expanded to 50 volatile communities across 8 parishes, and the Community Renewal Program has been created to carry out integrated social and economic development in the 100 most vulnerable and volatile communities over the next 10 years.
What it means is that you get the local citizens in their organizations, the local departments, ministries and agencies focus on some strategic things and bringing together existing resources. Children staying in school and completing school has been demonstrated as one of the most effective crime prevention activities.
To this end, the police have expanded the Safe Schools program while increasing the number of police resource officers in schools. Up to July 2012, there were 161 school resource officers, up from 143 in 2010. On a much broader level, efforts have also been made to improve the security of our borders and territorial waters, while steps are being taken to rehabilitate persons who have been incarcerated.
We also look at the important area of governance, how important it is for each and every Jamaican to have a voice in how this country is governed.
Governance describes the way power and authority are shared, how public decisions are taken, and how institutions work for the benefit of all. Goal number 2 focuses on several key areas that are important for achieving effective governance, promoting transparency and accountability in government. This includes Parliament and the ministries, departments, and agencies. Through a number of committees like the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, public institutions have to give an account of their expenditure and other critical aspects of their operations. The private sector, civil society, and ordinary citizens are being encouraged to voice their concerns and work towards effective solutions for the country's problems. Local government and constitutional reform are also important under goal number 2 of Vision 2030 Jamaica. Progress continues on strengthening the role of local government so that parish councils will be better able to serve the local community. The reform of the justice system is also being undertaken to better protect the rights of citizens and ensure efficient and fair delivery of justice. Courthouses have been refurbished. The number of judges at various levels of the system has increased. The commercial court has been strengthened. Outdated laws are being reviewed, and new legislation is being created as the need arises. The list of duty councils has also been expanded to ensure that all Jamaicans have access to legal representation if they come in conflict with the law. With the opening of a number of restorative justice centers and strengthening the role of the justices of the peace, citizens are able to work out their problems without the intervention of the formal court system. Vision 2030 Jamaica, through Goal 2, is seeking to ensure that by 2030 we will all live in safe communities, have modern and effective ways of maintaining law and order, empower families to solve conflicts in positive ways, and that our governance structure is sound and persons have access to a fair and efficient justice system. You can get more information on the National Development Plan by calling the Planning Institute of Jamaica or the Jamaica Information Service. Information can also be accessed at vision2030.gov.jm or the Vision 2030 Jamaica Facebook page. Together, we can make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
Vision 2030 Jamaica plan. Oh, now I understand.
School for most begins in exactly 2 weeks. So last week we told parents about the value in keeping receipts. This week, we bring children tips on how to make the transition from the lazy days of summer to the industrious days of the new school year.
Yo, what going?
I'm fine enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what you want to talk about now?
You know, some I go high school this year, and the bullying thing. I want to know how to prevent myself from being attacked by bullies.
Best thing to do is like go to a teacher first, and report it, cause it's not good. Violence is not good. It don't make sense to fight them, cause you're just putting yourself in deeper trouble.
They should report it to their parents and to the guidance counselors, because it can affect their academic performance.
This is partly because the child being bullied will become fearful and may want to stay away from school. Recognizing that, the Ministry of Education has made it clear that no form of bullying will be tolerated in schools.
Is it true that you have more than one teacher for every subject?
Yeah, they come into your classroom at different times during the day. So you have different sessions for different subjects.
They should be aware that they will have to take responsibility for their own learning. They will have to be aware that nobody will be running behind them.
How do you manage your time for each subject?
Usually when I go home, I usually devote an hour to a subject.
As soon as the term starts, students should begin to read a lot, review their notes every day, study consistently, and they should make sure that the subjects that they are weakest at, They should spend much more time with those.
It cannot be all about academics though. Get involved in extracurricular activities, but do not allow them to take up all your time. And there's another issue that has to be addressed: respect. Being well-mannered is not a faux pas. It's very much the in thing, whether you're at the primary, secondary, or tertiary level.
There is also problems when they get low grades. Students quarrel a lot about low grades. Here again, I take them aside and talk to them. I show them why they couldn't get A's.
Then there's the issue of peer pressure. Choose your friends carefully. Hang around persons who will help you to make good decisions.
Don't follow bad company, it's just not right, because then you'd be brought down a lot. Some people don't want to see you get good grades and stuff.
So that means if I behave and study my books at high school, I will be okay?
Yeah, you'll get through high school pretty fine. So you're good now, that's all I wanted to know about high school and things.
Yeah, man.
Alright, you're good, man.
Here are a few additional reminders to help you make it through school, regardless of the level you're at. Take notes. Write down the important points that the teacher makes so you can refer to them at a later date. Ask questions. If something is not clear, ask the teacher to clarify. Study in advance. Don't cram everything the night before. Create a homework plan. This way you will pace yourself to complete assignments on time. Be careful of your friends. Learn to differentiate between those who mean well and those who don't. Don't idle after school. Get home as soon as possible. This way you will be better kept out of danger. Talk about your problems. If something is bothering you, ask a responsible adult for advice.
I would ask that teachers be more gentle with students now. They should be firm when they are correcting them, but they should do so without degrading them.
So this academic year can be a successful one. With the right attitude, hard work, and perseverance, you can achieve your fullest potential.
Question: when it's gonna be my time to shine, I gotta get what's mine. When it's gonna be a little shine for me. Lyrics and flow, I circle the city because my full of versatility.
Students, your free paper soon born. So don't get caught unprepared for the hard work expected of you this upcoming school year. If your parents have already bought your books, start going through them. Practice some of the math problems or read some of the stories and poems you'll be reading during the school year. Keep it fun and list your cousins or friends to memorize your multiplication table, make up songs to remember your equations or chemistry symbols, or collect rocks from various environments for geology. Start retraining your body by going to bed a little earlier than usual and waking up and doing chores a little earlier in the mornings. Make the new school year smooth and stress-free. Start your back-to-school preparations right now. And that's it for today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Have comments or queries? Email us, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. If browsing is more your speed, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Jamaica Information Service, or join us on Twitter @JIS News. You may also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and other shows in full. On behalf of the entire hard-working team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Pleasant viewing.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.